But first, a woman whose organization works to elect pro-choice Democratic women to high offices. So it's no surprise that Hillary Clinton is the election 2016 choice for Emily's List. Its president, Stephanie Shriak, was the national finance director for Howard Dean's 2004 presidential campaign. Stephanie, it's good to meet you. Thanks so much for being here.
Great. Thanks for having me.
So for the three people who don't know anything about Emily's List, pro-choice Democratic women, let's say for argument's sake, you said Bernie Sanders is actually better on the issues, or Martin O'Malley was better on the issues. Would it still be Hillary Clinton?
Well, it's easy to say, first off, she is better on the issues than those other two, by the way, and absolutely. Emily's List was founded to ensure that women's voices were heard at the table. When we started, not a single Democratic woman had been elected to the United States Senate in her own right. Think about that. Barbara Mikulski, our first candidate, was also our first win, and we're still making a lot of inroads here, and we still need to break some glass ceilings.
But when you're watching a debate, like one of the first debates when Hillary Clinton was saying, I won't raise taxes on the middle class, that guy, Bernie Sanders, will, and he says, yeah, I'm going to raise taxes on the middle class, $1 a week, so that we can have paid parental leave, which is, I'm assuming, something you and your members love. Don't you say, oh my God, how do I deal with that? Isn't that a dilemma for you?
No, not at all. First off, Hillary Clinton has been a champion for women and families since her very first job at the Children's Defense Fund when she came up to New Bedford, Massachusetts, trying to figure out why there weren't enough children in schools who were school-aged.
Her first job.
That was her very first job. You know, this is someone who's been such an incredible advocate, and she's not just someone who holds the line on these issues. She's someone who advocates, who pushes forward. I mean, I couldn't be prouder of her. She came out this year here running for president. Everybody's fighting to try to prevent Planned Parenthood from getting defunded. You know what she says? She says, defund? What? We need to fund them more. This is about helping women, and that's our champion for you.
You're a pretty upbeat kind of person, I can tell in 2 minutes. Earlier in February, I assume you were not quite as upbeat for a day or two. Two iconic women, I think, created a little bit of a problem for your candidate. So on February 5th, there was Gloria Steinem. When you're young, you're thinking, you know, where are the boys? The boys are with Bernie. Then the next day, Madeleine Albright, former Secretary of State. There's a special place in hell for women who don't support other women. Women, I know men don't like being told what to do, but women don't like being told what to do by other women either. Do they, or do they?
No, nobody likes to be told what to do, and no woman in this country should vote for a woman because she's a woman. That's not something we ever suggested at Emily's List.
But they were suggesting that, weren't they?
And what I'm saying is no woman should do that. You should really look at the candidates and what they stand for. And one of the reasons Emily's List, you know, continues to promote women's leadership is because they often don't have those opportunities to see women in places of power, like running for president of the United States.
But don't you worry? I mean, Susan Sarandon, who's a pretty popular person, you heard what she said a couple days later. Here's Sarandon.
I don't vote with my vagina. It's so insulting to women to think that you would follow a candidate just because she's a woman.
She was with Sanders, but it seems to me, I don't know how much of an outlier she is or not, it seems to me the major concern that you've got and the Clinton campaign's got is young women, who at least as of the moment, millennial women and men are trending, and I think that's an understatement of Bernie Sanders. How do you fix it? What's the problem? What do you understand that they don't get, Stephanie?
Well, I think it's important to keep in mind that, you know, Hillary Clinton just won a decisive victory in Nevada and continues to expand across the country and is leading all across the country in the national polls. Yes, we are still doing a lot of education work with millennial voters, but I would also say that the millennials that I have talked to, I was just in South Carolina actually last couple days, and these incredible young African-American women and men who are very, very engaged with Hillary Clinton's campaign and are ready for this primary coming up on Saturday in South Carolina. Like, those folks, they are out there, and we're going to continue having a conversation with all voters, all ages, both genders, because at the end of the day, we need the entire Democratic base together to ensure that we don't let one of these Republicans, Trump, Cruz, and Rubio, in the White House.
So you think millennials need to know more about her? I mean, on one hand, though, there are the Lena Dunhams who campaigned for her passionately in New Hampshire with Abby Wambach and other people. Great day. And then she's not quoted. Then there's a New York Times story about how when she found out, like a lot of other young women, about how Hillary Clinton theoretically treated some of the women who Bill Clinton mistreated, that turned her off. I mean, there are there are hurdles you still have to overcome, are there not?
Well, we've got
With
a
those young
person-
women, I mean.
Well, I think there's, for so many of us who have been, around politics or have voted in a few more elections than just a couple, we have heard about Hillary Clinton for a long time. In fact, we've had 25 years of Republican propaganda against Hillary Clinton and her husband that I think all of us have to push through and look at what she's talking about and the vision she's laying out for this country. The stakes are incredibly high this election, and we really need to have a leader in the White House who is going to be a fighter for women and families, who's going to continue to break down the barriers to success in this country. And there's no doubt that she has the proven record to get that done.
One last thing. She's interviewed in Vogue. Question, is the United States ready for its first female president? This is Hillary Clinton. I really don't know. You get little hints that maybe they're not as comfortable with a woman being in an executive position. You've done fabulous work. There are 20 United States senators are women, the highest level, but of course there are only 20 United States senators. Why is a woman with these skills able to say that America might not yet be as comfortable with a woman? I mean, it's pathetic.
Well, we haven't done it yet, right? And we just don't have the sense. We look at Emily's list, and we've in 30 years have helped elect 11 women governors. But if we look across the country, 23 states, I believe, still have never had a woman governor of either party.
Hello, right here, other
yeah,
than
I was just
somebody-
going to
exactly.
say, we are sitting in a state that
Jane
fits
Swift was
that
governor, but wasn't
briefly,
elected.
but wasn't elected.
Yeah.
But this is a big glass ceiling to break through. I think it's going to be fine. In fact, I think it's going to be incredible. I think what it is going to mean for women and girls and the men who love them to see a woman leader in the White House, not just in the United States, but around the world, is really going to mean great change. Great change.
Stephanie Shryock, it's a pleasure to
Thank
meet you.
you.
Emily's
Thank you
List.
so
Thanks so
much.
much. Good to see you.